Alright, all you moviegoers out there, welcome back to the Indy Radio Arcade. And if you're wondering at home, yes, I am gonna question Dan the Weatherman Stu about this secret radio broadcast he's been doing behind our backs for how long, Maestro? Apparently for about a good 2 years. It's not that long, but still, an eyebrow-raising moment there. And speaking of eyebrow-raising moments, folks, and I don't mean The Rock, it's time for us to go into a very special film reel edition of the 103 MR. And for any of you out there wondering what in the world is the 103 MR compared to the regular 3MR, well, it's sort of a way to milestone an episode that we do every third of an episode where we hit. And to celebrate it, we pick a special movie from our special list off the side of the calendar wall we have over in the corner. And prior to the Indie Radio Arcade, thanks to a coin flip, the Nicolas Cage movie we had to celebrate this said milestone is none other than Con Air. And this movie, my God, the meat and potatoes of this said film is that a man that goes by the name of Cameron Poe, who is heading home back to his wife, would have to fly a transfer flight to head to a more secure prison to be transferred home, only for none other than Cyrus the Virus and a gang of several different dangerous criminals from around the world all would gather up to try to hijack the plane and take it to somewhere else than its known destination. Hence the reason why the movie is called Con Air. And my God, this movie, the one thing that I love besides the soundtrack, because it does feature Sweet Home Alabama during this film and a litany list of other great songs, including the background music they have whenever Cyrus the Virus does some evil action. It's like this guitar riff I can't really describe, but it's absolutely awesome to hear whenever Cyrus hits the room. I'm telling you, it's life-changing when you get a chance to listen to the soundtrack for this. And besides that, folks, speaking of Cyrus the Virus, this movie has a litany list of who's who of stars in this said film as well. Besides Nicolas Cage, you also have John Malkovich, Steve Buscemi, John Cusack from Grosse Point Blank, Monica Carter, Ving, Rhames, Danny Trejo, Colin Meaney, who is known for playing a cop in all the movies he's been in, and you even have Bubba Gump from Forrest Gump. Yes, that's right, folks. Mackenzie Williamson was featured in this said film, along with Dave Chappelle and other people who were also featured during this film. And Maestro said if we try to name them all, we'll be here all night. But I'm telling you, folks, all the stars featured during this film, absolutely awesome to see in this movie. And not to mention, and on a personal note, I keep forgetting, and this is where the world I got the nickname for a guy who used to go to school with us that used to go by the name of Cyrus. I called him Cyrus the Virus after this movie. Actually, I met him prior to this movie back when we were in elementary school. And if you're wondering how a kid who was in elementary school was able to watch a rated R movie, it's a long story, but needless to say, folks, that's how in the world I gave him the nickname Cyrus the Virus ever since this movie, and nickname stuck with him ever since. It really did. As a matter of fact, I need to call him after this, but besides a little phone call to a friend that I need to make in the near future, another thing that I loved about this movie is the back and forth banter between all these dangerous criminals during this said film, especially between Nicolas Cage and Steve Buscemi. And we're gonna give you guys 2 spoilers for this said film, and one of the conversations that I love the most is when Steve Buscemi would say during the flight while Sweet Home Alabama was playing in the background, define irony. A musical group that died in a plane crash being played in a plane filled with convicts that may crash. I always thought it was funny because Leonard Skinner, the group did die. Most of them did die in a plane crash, and he would say divine irony to that. And the other scene that we loved so much about this had to be when the DEA agent's car would end up getting hooked up to the side of a big oversized pole to try to stop the plane from taking off. Next thing you know, the plane would still be able to get off the ground and his car would fly into the wind, and Nicolas Cage would say, on any other day, that would seem strange. And to make things even better, he was like, oh, wait a minute, is that your car? And it's like, no, that's not my car. My car's back at the office. It has license plate kick-ass on it. And when the car crashed and landed on the ground and he saw his license plate, John Cusack, who was the one who tried to bring the plane in safely, would have that look like he did on Grosse Point Blank of, it's not me, which was absolutely hilarious to see on film. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review movies along the lines of Siskel and Ebert or any of those other famous movie reviewers that you know about there, we say this. If you want to go ahead and watch a movie featuring Nicolas Cage getting help alongside with Grosse Point Blank and even Forrest Gump's friend Bubba from a shrimp movie long ago, all while they fly high above sea level against a litany list of inmates and criminals all trying to fight their way home against the FBI's orders, then I recommend you go out there and watch that flick. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into the music and continue to listen into these diamonds in the rough. And when we return, we'll be back with more of the Indy Radio Arcade right after a word from our sponsors. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.